Welcome. Today we are going to take a look at the Nightblade class. In the first part of the video I will be talking about the skills and also show them and the two different morphs. And in the second part of the video I'm going to talk about PVE and PVP. I will also make sure to put a lot of links from different builds from me and from other people into the description so you can go check them out. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for even more awesome content. Okay, let's get started. Assassination Skilltree, Deathstroke ultimate. So this is a really cheap ultimate, only 50 ultimate, and it's insanely strong. In-cap strike is the stamina morph and Soul Harvest is the Magicka morph. Now Soul Harvest, while slotted, anytime you kill an enemy you gain extra ultimate points, and in-cap strike deals disease damage and stuns enemies. Assassin's Blade, so Killer's Blade is a stamina morph and only 5 meters range. It deals disease damage. And the Impale morph is a Magicka morph, but it has a 15 meters range. Teleport Strike, so there is a Magicka morph, Lotus Fan. This one snares the enemies and deals dot damage. Ambush Stamina morph gives you major amp power, so your next attack does 20% more damage. Animations more or less look the same. Blur, so Mirage is giving you like small resistance buffs. Nobody really uses that. And Double Take gives you major expedition, which buffs your speed. Mark Target, Piercing Mark, so this has a longer duration and it makes people that are stealthed, like it makes them visible. So when you put it on a Nightblade before he goes into stealth, you will still see him even if he's sneaking. Reaper's Mark, basically if an enemy dies, gives you the major berserk, increasing your damage by 25%. Basically same animations. Green Focus, so Relentless Focus is aimed at stamina characters, gives you minor endurance, increasing stamina recovery, also gives you minor berserk, increasing your damage, and then after 4 light or heavy attacks you can shoot the Spectral Bow, really cool. Merciless Resolve, same thing, just for Magicka, and it deals more damage. Okay, let's show... Shadow Skilltree, Consuming Darkness. This is a really powerful ultimate. Bossing Darkness basically gives you a 60% damage reduction while you stand in it. This is mainly only for you, and if you use Veil of Blades it gives you a 30% damage reduction for you and your party members. Both animations look the same and it looks really cool. So as long as you stand in here you get 30% damage reduction, plus for your group members. Shadow Cloak, Shadowy Disguise morph guarantees you a critical strike on your next attack, and Dark Cloak grants you minor protection when your invisibility ends, reducing your damage taken. Both kind of have the same animation. With this you basically can sneak forever through all the mobs and they will not see you. Wild Strike, Surprise Attack morph is a stamina morph, so this applies major fracture to the enemy, reducing their physical resistance by 5.3k. Then we have Concealed Weapon. This is a Magicka morph, so while slotted your movement speed while stealthed or invisible is increased, so this is also really helpful. Both have the same animation. Path of Darkness, Twisting Path, so this one like has a bigger area and deals more damage. And Refreshing Path also heals you and your allies. Aspect of Terror, Mass Hysteria. Basically this morph is always used. It applies minor maim on the enemy and like when the fear ends, reducing their damage done. And it also fears the enemy, so they have to break free and you cannot block this ability. Manifest of Terror puts a trap on the ground, but the enemies can see it, so it's kind of useless in my opinion. Summon Shade, so this is a very defensive ability. Dark Shades, so like those are melee shades and they reduce the enemy's damage by 50%. Shadow Image is like a ranged shade, and basically the mechanic, like it also reduces the enemy's damage done by 15%, so it can be really helpful. Plus you also can pull off some really nice tricks. So Shadow Image is really special. When you use it on an enemy, it pops up like this, the shade is not attacking itself, and now when I press the button again, it teleports me back to the shade. So you can use this as a really nice mechanic, especially in PvP. Siphoning, Soul Shred Ultimate. Soul Siphon basically heals you and your allies, and Soul Tether like heals you and it deals more damage. Plus it also stuns enemies. The animations look the same. Strive, Funnel Health heals you and one other ally, and Swallow Soul increases your healing done. The animations are both the same. Agony, Prolonged Suffering, like it has a damage over time effect, and Malefic Ref deals area damage when it ends. Cripple, Debilitate, so this one can be put on several targets, and Crippling Grasp can only be put on one enemy, but it deals more damage and it immobilizes the enemies. Siphoning Strikes, so Leeching Strikes basically gives you magicka, stamina and health back, but it reduces your spell and weapon damage by 20%. Siphoning Attacks only gives you magic and stamina back, but that's more than enough, so everybody is using this morph here. It's your A and O for resource management. Drain Power, we have Power Extraction, this is a stamina morph, deals disease damage. And it gives you weapon damage buff, and then we have Sap Essence, this is a magic morph, gives you the spell damage buff, and it also heals for quite a lot. Nightblades have really strong passives. The Assassination Skilltree, for example, Master Assassin, increases your weapon spell damage by 10% while you're invisible, and your stun holds 100% longer. When you kill somebody you regain magicka, and you also can increase your critical strike and spell critical ratings. Every time, like the more you have of those, the higher it gets. Hemorrhage increases like damage dealt from critical strikes by 10%. Then we have Shadow, Refreshing Shadows, insane 15% stamina health and magicka recovery. We have Shadow Barrier, so when I use one of those skills I gain an armor buff. It's huge. Like every time like we slot the Shadow ability, our health is increased by 3%, and all abilities hold 15% longer. Siphoning Tree Catalyst, so every time I drink a potion I gain 10 ultimate, so take a look at this here. So now when I drink a potion it goes up. It's a lot, 20 ulti points is a lot. If you remember, Deathstroke only 50 ultimate, it's insane. Magicka Fluid increases your max magicka while you have one of those skills slotted. That 8% is huge. And then it also increases your healing done for like every skill you have slotted, and Transfer basically grants you 2 ultimate when you activate the ability. So Nightblade has overall really strong passives, and also the resource management, mainly due to siphoning attacks, is so easy with this class. It's insane. PvE wise, there is a lot of magic and stamina Nightblades. Magic and Nightblades are a little bit preferred though, because Sap Essence, Funnel Health are just really nice healing support abilities which overall help the group more. Stem Blades however are really strong in like burst damage, because you have like Incap Strike and Surprise Attack class specific skills. PvP wise, Stem Blades again really bursty, basically used to gank a lot of people. You can like either melee gank builds, range gank builds. With the right build you can insta-kill basically any enemy if you know how to do it correctly. Magic and Nightblades, there is not that many of them, but usually if you play in a group, because of Sap Essence and all those like support abilities, they're also around a lot. It is a little bit more difficult to play solo, especially because you need to know what kind of combos you can pull off to be able like to kill people. It needs a little bit of practice. Anyway, I will link builds into the description, so you actually can go check out all those other kind of things, so you have more information. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.